So we are estimating $378,000 being applied to your premium, okay? Once the premium is paid in full, we'll start to receive the indemnity checks. So this will bring us down to about a balance of $800,000. We are currently half through February and March interval as well. We've got to get through the end of March here, but we currently have $967,000 in protection for the February-March interval. So if it continues to stay really dry, this is going to pay off our premium, hopefully, and provide us a benefit of about $100,000 right off the bat at the beginning of the year.
Oh,
now, keep in mind.
Excuse me,
yes, sir.
We have a question.
Yep.
Go ahead, Sonia.
Yeah, good morning, Nick. This is Sonia,
Hi.
Weston. You know, it would really be helpful, I guess, to us if you would give us a breakdown on this report. If you would maybe send
Sure.
it to Barb so she can get it to Land Committee, because I would sure like to look at it. I think that it sounds good, but I think we do need something maybe in black and white and give it to our secretary.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank
Sure.
you.
Per interval and per grid. And if you guys have any questions on that report, we can schedule a second meeting and I can answer all your questions that you may have. Just understand we're off to a great start with it.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you have to report to it? Right now?
No, just that's the results for that interval. As soon as March is over, the beginning of April, I'll be doing another report for the February and March interval.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for him? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, guys.
Have a good day.
You too, thanks.
That's all I got, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. None of this. BIA. Your turn to sing. You have anything?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Just here.
Arnell Brumble. You? Ready?
Good morning, I'm Arnell Brumble, and I just didn't agree with this lease that they have, that they gave to me.
Turn your mic on. You must have hit the brake. What don't you like?
Right here it says in term, the lease is $500 beginning the first day of the lease term unless otherwise specified on the invoice. The administration fee is $0.
Is that residential?
It's a business lease.
Business lease?
Yeah, it's for the Native American Church in Potato Creek. And then,
Where did that come from? You got a shop in that.
ST rate outside of town is $100 an acre. It's per square foot in town. Outside of town, it goes by acres, it's $100 an acre.
and then I didn't agree with this, probably this whole paper. I don't like it. And this is for the Native American Church.
That's yours, that's not
Yeah.
ours.
So I just wanted to,
But that's just the way the leases read for certain areas, for business, church, residential, they all have their rates.
are they all that 500? Could be
No,
more.
they're not. That can be said, it's $100 an acre outside of Pine Ridge, south. Out in the districts, that's how it runs. Pine Ridge is by the square foot. Out there, it's by the acre.
So you mean all the churches, they pay 500?
Those that have the leases.
Do they even pay a lease? That's what I'm asking too. Are they doing that?
Trying to think how to explain this to you. Some of these churches have been assigned those parts where they're at. Back So not, all these new churches are now paying, but the old ones had those assignments back in the day, just like,
This isn't a new church, it's been there for over.
yeah, but it was
100
shut
years.
down before.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't operational.
Yeah,
So they're not, really, when they're not operational, some of them, you go back to see where it came because the landowner might have said, if you're no longer using it, then it reverts back to the landowner. Those instances take place too. So somebody might have owned that before and let the Native American church use it.
it's a deed,
Huh?
it's a deed. I have it right here too.
It's a deed.
Yeah. There's a deed on that.
But it had to, somebody else had to own it prior to becoming a church.
My grandfather.
See, but did he stipulate on it that it goes back to him if the church is no longer in
To
use?
the family.
Yeah,
I'm still part of that family.
well, that part there you have to work out with BIA, that don't come to land.
Well, that's where I'm not in agreement with this whole lease, because then in this, then it says that, there's not to be any burials, and there's already a whole grave site on that. So do I go back to them? So that's all wrong.
And the rate is set by the land office, which is the travel rate of $100 unless they state otherwise.
Well, before I never had to pay that much before even.
Well,
In
if I didn't have a lease.
2011. I did have a lease, that was with, Denise Mesquith also.
That's about that, that's.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. See, it was in it. Denise wanted me to live on that land, but I didn't want to live on it because it was just a church. And I already told her my plans on that and everything, but I didn't want to live there. I'm just trying to help that church.
Good.
You know, I remember when this lease came forward to us, I really wish you were here.
She was here.
Was you here that day?
Yeah.
You approved it?
Last month.
Yeah. No,
I was
remember.
here,
I don't
but-
recall her being
2
here.
weeks ago?
Yeah, she wasn't here. I think if she was here, maybe we could have heard these concerns coming from her.
Or was that a month ago?
A month ago.
Yeah, I remember her being here that day when we were questioning this lease. And so I think that none of the concerns she has, I think maybe Sean here is saying that they have been paying that amount, some of the churches. But I don't think all the churches have been. So I think that's a question that we probably need to get answered for her. I don't know if the BIA is a part of it or what, but we need to get some answers that she has.
I didn't really realize that I had to pay a lease because I didn't pay it before,
Yeah,
because it was already, they said, the first time I came to struggle to this land committee, it was free. It was free.
it was free.
Yeah,
You
it
never
was,
paid
I
a
didn't pay
lease.
nothing. It was already free because of all of this paperwork that I have here, then that was why. And I already showed it to Denise, and then I came here before, also with the same paperwork.
Denise,
With Denise Mesquith.
at that time,
Yeah,
and if there's a cemetery there already, that's another concern, like she's asking, you know, you,
because it's
according to
saying,
this here.
here, no burial sites will be allowed on this business lease. And it's already like, I feel like this is all wrong. So, and then I don't have an attorney with me, but I'm wondering if I should get one.
Yeah.
Because, this is like against my religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
So-
agree with you, like,
Do I need to do that?
Just hold it, just hold on, we got some more questions.
well, we got Steve Gunn on the line too,
Yeah.
so we should ask him that.
You done, Tony?
Yeah, I want to ask.
Wait, we'll let Craig and Bo go first. Bo, Craig.
You know, I believe that that Native American church serves a purpose, there's people that follow that, and I believe that that's their right. So my motion is that we waive the fee, and we just have you renew the lease, and there'll be no $500 fee on that. That's just to take it out of the political hands and give it back to the church itself.
Yeah.
That's my motion.
And then I have also, I have a resolution too from the district also. And, I have one from the executive board.
That Kyle, that's what?
Yeah,
Okay,
from the tribe.
okay. Good. Your two reps are sitting here,
Beautiful.
Bo and Jeremy.
Okay, hold on, we got a motion made and a second, Bo, we're gonna recognize Jeremy at 11:02. Without any,
So she said she has a deed. Is that?
I don't know what kind of deed she has.
Last year I was, remember I started looking into, they gave me back this 501c3 that I had written for this church. And they gave it back to me, so I started, calling around and working on this, and, I do have a deed. It's from Toluca, and
Push your button. It went off again, yeah.
so I do have that. And I have all kinds of paperwork right here that I have from the beginning.
But as of right now, we got a motion on the floor, we're gonna do a roll call vote on this.
Norman Standing Soldier.
Yes.
James Cross.
Yes.
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
David Kelly.
Yes.
Troy Little.
Yes.
Sonia Little Hot Weston. Bo Little Whiteman.
Yes.
Lee Randall. Jeremy Rosales. The quorum stands, so it's 8-4, 2 not voting.
Motion passed.
She can still work with Sean
Yeah,
on that, on your amendment, you do your lease over with them.
She already has a lease, it's been approved, it's in her hands. She just has to do just a modification, Sherry, or?
No, actually, the lease has not been approved yet, she never brought it back for us to get signatures, so we could just redraft up a new one.
Okay, okay, so it's never been fully signed, all right, perfect.
follow up with realty.
I will have to redo it, okay.
Thank you, Sherry.
Again, we'll have Bart send an insert over to you guys so for the file.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
that'd be good, yeah.
Go ahead, Norm. Go ahead.
And can you also look up, see if it has deeded land?
No, it's not.
It is,
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I have it right here. You want to see it?
You'll work that out with the BIA, with the BIA and that, with
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, in the beginning, last year, the BIA was closed down, and I was calling the people in Aberdeen, and they had told me to get with the superintendent. So I came on a Friday, and I was talking with her, and I showed her my paperwork, and it just seems like ever since then, I don't know why, it wasn't like how it was said before. And then now all of a sudden, everything is all, so much, it ain't good. Alright, thank you. Oh, and right here is the minister, the reverend, Mr. Spider.
Oh, it's not Spider?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I just tried to show them this lease, and then I was going through and then being approved of everything to make it down to 0. Yeah, yeah, no.
Okay, want to say, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. coming March, I'll be 82. 82, and then me and Arnell, we're trying to build a church, you know. And we had everything going good. And here, there's a guy named Sandy Armroot. The money that is going to give it to us, and here, the lady called us and they said, what happened to all the money that I gave it to you guys, South Dakota? So we try to take Sandra to court, but he don't want to come on the reservation. He lives in Black Hills. So, Indian way of talking to my area is that long time ago, the Indians, when they're gonna build something home, you know, a man and a woman, when they met, the families around it, they gather around there and they live, camp at that site, you know. Then when they put up a house, they give them gifts to start a new home, you know. So that one is like the church that we're trying to build. What happened there is that 1921 we organized as a church, state of South Dakota. So when we start that today, 2011, they gave me that position, high priest, the state of South Dakota. But I never go around and talk to everybody or try and push my weight, you know. And in my life, I never drink or smoke or use drugs or, you know, like that, you know. So when they give me that position, wherever praying, I'm there, you know. But when they're raising money, I don't want to be there, you know. So the reason I try and talk to Arnell is that I use the men to work for me, but all of them, they don't do it right. They all, you know, do everything not the way we want it, you know. Not myself, it's the family, the future generation, you know. So the kids, you know, so that's what we try and look at. And so we had a church house in Potato Creek, and then been there for many years. And a log home, we started the log home. And here, what do you call it, American has become president, Tom Cook. They came around and they got money, whole bunch of money. And they built a little shack like it, no foundation. So as it goes by, when everybody is gone beyond, the tribe, they didn't like that church house because it's molded. So they're the one that asked us to take it down and build another one. So we took it down and start the program. Alvin Youngberg, we put him in charge. So he got all the money, and here that Sandler used up all the money. So now that Youngberg quit our organization, the one that come around us, the one that help us, you know. So these are the things that I want to back up Arnell about that, you know. Want to get that tribe or the one that Indian way of praying, the Native American church, the Indian way of praying, you know. We don't collect money or nothing, you know. Around the area are now trying to start something. So I told her, you know, I'll come down and talk a little bit about this Indian way of helping each other, you know. And the tribe, what they're doing here is that I'll speak the Sioux language, you know. I speak fluently too, you know. So through the tribe and through we all related too, you know. Somehow, you know, if you look at it, we all related to, you know, get the things going and, you know, get the church, you know, help us build that church, and then that will help a lot of kids, you know, brought up in the Indian way of praying, you know. So I want to say say it that much, and then, I look at over here, basketball player, you know, boy, that basket. When they get the ball, like, we know we can win. The area I came from, you know, it's a beautiful place, and today it's still the same way, you know. So, that's the reason they, come over and tell a little bit about myself, you know. I wanna say thanks for listening to me, and thanks for your kindness, you know. Thanks for everything like that. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Hey,
Conrad Daniel, Chuck Jacob. It's a duet, I guess.
Chair, could we get Mr. Jacobs to give us some, this is concerning the water on that Smithwick Road out in Oglala. Could we get Mr. Jacobs to give us some background on this?
Okay.
So we all have an understanding.
Good morning, Council. Let's see, who's here, Sean? And Dave, you know this issue too, right? Yeah. On that line.
DOR is supposed to take over?
BOR was, if it was done right, BOR could have put it in the system and it would have been, we would have paid the O&M. But, anyway, I wasn't here when it was done, but then I kind of inherited it, so I think I know most of it. But whenever Denise was the land committee director then, was she up to the system? Yeah. So, she piggybacked right away across 2 quarters of Kilsmos, owned them in the Shannon County, the road system, Oglala Sioux. But that road that went through there, they had an easement. And so she piggybacked on that easement. And so whenever we was trying to put it in trust as part of Mini Wachoni, there's a couple of things that kind of emerged. It wasn't designed to BOR specs for human consumption. It was just designed to water cows. And so we had to upgrade it a little bit. So then I put about 20,000 into that overall water money, which wasn't Mini Wachoni money, which I shouldn't have done, but they were that close to getting it done. And then we found out that right-of-way issue emerged. And so we couldn't get the Kilsmos to sign over. Did you offer them 3,000 each?
We told them we'd work a deal out with them if they were willing to negotiate.
Yeah. So anyway, they just went budge. And Ballard was even on the council then. So I was trying to tell those guys, get your cohort there and sit her down and get her to sign something. But I said, oh, I guess I should say nothing happened. They wouldn't sign. So then NRCS designed it around those quarters. And I don't know, what's a quarter? Is that half mile? Half mile, half mile, half mile. So that's 1.5 miles of construction. That's pretty expensive. Anyway, we couldn't do it because Rural Water, the construction portion was sunset 2015. So we didn't have any construction dollars to do it. And because it couldn't meet specs to get into our Mini Wachoni system, then we couldn't put any money into it. But I put that 20,000 in it because that vault is, it was getting wet anyway. And so it was, what would you say, rusted up or whatever. So we cleaned that up, and then Sam was trying to, Badlands Enterprises was trying to pressurize it, and he couldn't get it. So there's a leak in that line somewhere too. I don't know if is there a river bore on that? Yeah. So I think that's where it's at. And so I had it out with Tate a number of times. He was saying that we were responsible for it. I told him, you guys signed off too soon with your contractor, which was Chris. Yeah. And so he said, well, he met our specs, so that's why we signed off on it. Well, that doesn't mean, I mean, that's why you need to design two BOR specs if you're gonna utilize a water line that's designed for human consumption. That was the difference in their construction specs and our construction specs. And so I thought we could get that upgraded and then get it included, but then that right-of-way issue emerged. And so we couldn't get past that. And then we couldn't get no mile and a half of construction either. So I told NRCS that you guys got all kind of money with that USDA, the last USDA, the Farm Bill, and they were swimming in money. I said, you guys are the only ones that can fix this. I said, otherwise, how many ranchers are on that? 5 ranchers on it, and then especially this summer with what's coming at us, then I don't know. So the answer isn't in BOR's court. I don't know whose court it's in. I think guys should take a run at NRCS to. They've got about 700,000 put into that thing. Remember what we put in? 200? 200,000, 250,000. So anyway, that's $1 million project sitting there that nobody can use. And those ranchers out there need this. So if you guys are gonna, I don't know, that's for this body to decide. Where's the political pressure gonna come from to get NRCS to put the money up? And I don't know what their budget's like this year either, so I'm just out of touch with whatever they're doing.
So I guess with what Chuck is saying, and I do know that project with the Smithwick Road, I was working there, but at the same time, like he said, BOR, you have to meet BOR specs. If you don't, they're not gonna transfer it into the water maintenance budget to O&M that line. So there's a transfer criteria, and you have to meet that transfer criteria with the BOR, and they're pretty strict about it. There's things that you have to follow and make sure you're following their specs. You know, if they're gonna transfer it and give you money to operate, maintain that line. So I do know that part. And I think that, what I'm hearing is that, one party is left out of here is the NRCS. And maybe we need to, bring them to the next land committee meeting and, see if there's a way that, they can pick up the cost of this. And maybe they need to hear probably from the land committee, but we need to meet with them, you know, see what they can do to help with it.
Because I've told them over and over, and
Yeah.
it's just bouncing off their ears, and they keep thinking we're gonna do it.
Well, I think we should.
Because of our ranchers, they think it's our problem.
Yeah, well, I think we should maybe make a motion to that, Chair, to reach out to the, who's in charge of the NRCS?
Tate, it's been so long I don't remember his last name. Tate, you got it? Tate. Anyway, his first name's Tate. And he's in the head of the West River in Rapid City.
Maybe we need to invite them to our next land committee. Maybe
I think, oh, go ahead.
But that, maybe a motion should be made to that, and then something should be sent to them to bring them to the next meeting.
I just wanted to interject. I think the ball is in their court, then it will come to us. Their court, they have to apply, because we're not the ones applying, they're applying.
He's talking about the ranchers.
Right, I mean, they have to apply. Then we have to work it out so that, because on the water issues, because I don't know what Denise and Trudy did at that time. They went and put a tap in there with no approval. Then we end up owing, and I think we ended up paying Badlands so many thousands of dollars to do that. Then we come to find out that they had more or less an illegal tap out there. So before I recognize you, try to see you raising your hand. Then they came and they wanted to make another tap out to Slim Buttes, and then but we stopped that one. And this one is still in limbo out there. So this, where they tapped, will never meet, the way I understand it, remember, will never meet BOR's requirement, because like you said, all that stuff is rusty down there now, probably. So we'll probably have to redo all that even, so the whole thing has to start all over. Go ahead, Troy.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. My concern was, being $1 million project and just sitting there being unused, so I would like to, I'd like to motion to, have NRCS at our next, land meeting, along with Mr. Jacobs and the ranchers.
Right.
Second.
Please?
Okay. Motion made second. Do a roll call vote. The reason I'm doing the roll call votes when we switch to the resident homestead lease is everybody abandoned ship in one council meeting on the actions that we took. So now this time we're gonna run a roll call vote. James, excuse me.
Norman Standing Soldier.
Yes.
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
David Kelly.
Yes.
Troy Little.
Yes, sir.
Sonia Little Hot Weston. Bo Little White Man.
Yes.
Lee Randall.
Yes.
Jeremy Rosales.
Yes.
8-4, 1 not voting.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, before
Right.
what you just said about these guys applying, that should probably be the route to go. Whenever he comes next council meeting, they'll probably bring his crew with him, his engineers, whatever. You guys ought to do another application, an RCS application to fix that. That would be, it'd be in accordance with their system, with their process, so that would probably be the way to go. That's what I think, that's not what he thinks, so that way.
I just wanted to interject why it came that way, because we had another applicant, remember committee, I think it was about a year ago, when a rancher came and was trying to put water on his land, the well, to service tribal ground. And we said, no, that's landlocking. Nobody else, because the water's too young, so, but they needed to follow the NRCS, they even brought NRCS here. So, the process is to do that NRCS application first.
Yeah, that makes more sense, I think. Thank you, Council.
Yep. The next is AT&T. Mr. Gunn, can you hear me? Oh, I forgot to put one on, but after we get done with Mr. Gunn. Oh, it's under the diamond one. Did you get them?
Yeah, we got contacted. I have questions on it.
This, I guess, Major is in court with the diamonds over that, resolution.
That ordinance.
Yeah, the ordinance and all that, so, that's the letter that was, I had an email, this was written to the superintendent, so this is to inform the committee about what's going on.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I did read that, and, I was showing Sean, just let me know that, this letter came out from the attorney, but I really think that it still applies to the immediate family, that's what we said. And it sounds like these two sons are immediate family, so no matter how you look at it, they're immediate family. And, I think it's an ongoing issue, and I know that the family will probably, file something too if they have to, you know, I think so, that's something that, and I don't think they even know that this is going on, that they had taken it to court, or getting an attorney to, you know, take it to court, so, but I do
Mr. Dillon?
I know Sean remembers my motion that time because I said proxy. That means anybody related or associated with these guys. And my issue is still that the bullshit that this family did to Mr. Seymour Youngdog far exceeds any legitimacy for leasing tribal ground, in my opinion. They have no business, and we have the right to lease land to who we want to, don't we? Aren't we a sovereign nation? I thought we was in control of our lands. And as far as I'm concerned, we should even answer this in court. What grounds are they taking us to court on? You know, is there a CFR that applies to this?
To my understanding, what Major had informed us in Rapid, that they filed something in court that she's supposed to be representing the tribe in this situation. So
I think the BIA should step up and be part of our lawsuit because it is tribal ground, isn't it? You know what I mean? And as far as I'm concerned, they have no business leasing tribal ground. And my motion should be amended and put in there the right language because, Sean, you remember me making that motion because we talked about it in the past because right now one of their daughter-in-laws is trying to lease tribal land. And to me, that's same bunch of bullshit. And I'm using this language because I'm upset about it. You know, there was nothing wrong with Seymour. He was an old guy. A lot of us respected the hell out of him because he's a good guy. And then to have him tortured out there by this Butch Diamond pushing snow in their driveway so they'd be snowed in 90% of the time and doing it just out of honoring and spite. And so my thing is we're not gonna lease any tribal ground as far as I'm concerned to this family at all.
Go ahead, sir.
And I think that they cite in there the resolution 22-40, but we just recently took action with the ordinance. And I think that needs to, I don't know, I think Major might have that, or whoever's looking into this, but, you know, I agree with Craig. You know, I don't know why they want to keep fighting to lease tribal land. You know, that's our right, you know, about leasing land. And you know, on top of that, you know, this family owns that land. So they should have a right also to say who they want to lease their land. And like he said, you know, this ordinance that was passed was titled Seymour Youngdog Law. So that is really why, like Craig said, you know, why it was really pushed to make sure that we looked out for the tribal members that own the land. You know, so now they're going to the extent of getting an attorney and fighting it in court. So I really hope that, you know, we can put a stop to this, but I do know, like Major told us, she was gonna be on this to answer that because they did file. Do we have her?
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, committee. The ordinance that the council passed does not single out a particular family. It's a neutral ordinance of general applicability that covers anyone who fits the circumstances. Because the allegation is that it's discriminatory, it's not, treats everyone the same. Also, you'll notice that the letter is old. It's written a number of years ago. It isn't new. It was just recently provided to me by the superintendent. I forwarded it to the committee chair and secretary. If there is I would ask the committee to assign its attorney, me, to also work on that. It's important, the committee attorney on that also.
Motion by Sonia,
To
second
assign
by...
this issue on the dive-in case to our attorney, Steve Gunn.
Go ahead, Craig, or you second it?
I'm gonna second it, but I think we should include their name. What are we hiding? What are we afraid of?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
Mr. Dillon, I do believe that the is included in the motion and in the ordinance, but what's important is that the ordinance does not single out a particular family. It may use them as an example of the type of behavior most damaging to the tribe, but the law is not a bill of attainder. It does not single out a particular family for punishment. It applies equally and neutrally to all parties who fit the regulated objectionable conduct. So that's important.
Well, my issue, my feelings on this is that we know what he was doing, we know what he got convicted of, and we know how he was torturing an elderly family, and I have no problem defending our position as a tribe when we name this particular family for what they've done in the past. You know, playing nice never gets us anywhere. It gets us back into court. And as far as I'm concerned, they have no legitimacy leasing tribal ground because of their conduct of their father and what he did over the years. And he's still in the head of that family. He's still I believe, owns all the cattle, because they don't just give them away, they give it away when they pass away. So, you know, I would prefer that we leave that name in there, because it specifically addresses that particular family for what they did in the past.
Now, benefit the family to play nice, that's why they're trying to be nice. You know?
Yeah.
Sonia?
Yeah, and I was told that he's still conducting things like that, Mr. Butch Divin. You know, and he's doing it to other ranchers in Batesland area. And so that's got to stop. So even though they're making it look like these two sons are not a part of their father, it don't matter. You know, we made a decision, and like Craig said, we need to stand on that. You know, so, you know, however you look at it, Steve, you know, we only made one amendment to it, was to add in, what was it now, at the end of that, immediate family. Grandchildren. So we didn't say names, but we specifically said what we wanted to say on the immediate family part.
I think that's right, and I'm not hearing the committee recommending a change by itself, but I do think, you know, I would and, you know, be a part of defending against that litigation.
Okay.
Okay.
You want our motion?
Yeah, I didn't get a second.
I did. Oh, Craig second.
Oh, okay. Motion made second. You know, since we're live,
Assign the attorney to work on.
since we're live, I'm gonna say this. And this is what I was told. We have other tribal members also leasing to this family out there. So with the ordinance, the way it's written, they could lose their leases too, if they're caught.
Yeah, I think we put that in there.
And it's in there. So I just want to say that, since it's live, because these are going to be used to go around, they're going to call one another. And they're probably on their phones right now. So, roll call vote. On the motion to enforce it. No, or have Steve represent.
That's fine.
Oh, Steve, yeah, yeah.
Norman Standing Soldier.
Yes.
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
David
chance to review the AT&T thing?
I did request the leases and lease amendments. What I got was the lease amendments and resolutions approving from 2012 and 2018, and unfortunately, they don't have the them, so I've requested the attached exhibits, but it does look like there is a general offer at 18, and it was extended 22.
Steve, you're breaking
and
up. You're breaking up for some reason.
Trying. There were resolutions passed in 12 and 2018 involving agreements with TNT. There were extensions in 20. Do you
20
still
what?
have what?
You're cut out 20, in 18, then you said 20 something.
22,
Okay.
and I'm cutting out. I'm sitting at my desk. I don't know why it's happening. But
Bart said it's our system that's doing it.
Was it?
Oh, okay. I do need the underlying agreements, and I've requested them, and I think Lisa Steele in the Secretary's office are working on getting those for me.
So, really, we can't take any action until our attorney reviews the AT&T agreement. That's the way I look at it anyway. I mean,
I think the concern was to make sure that the tribe is getting all of the compensation that it's entitled to, and I do need to see the underlying agreements.
okay, okay, so we need action to table until the attorney, has time to review these agreements.
A motion to table. It looks like this is, Manderson and Batesman?
Well, that's where the towers are at, that they're applying for.
Again? AT&T
Yeah,
applying?
yeah, so, I don't know how many, towers they got on the res, but anyway, that's what they're talking about. Go ahead, Mr. Cal.
You know, I didn't get to read everything, I only read, just the Manderson one, but I guess my question would be on the rent number 3. On January 1st, 2025, a prorated amount of $5,732.42. And an annual payment to the tenant in April 14th, 2024 through 2025, 1 year. The tenant shall pay an annual rate on or before January 1st, an amount of $7,986 per year. I guess my question is why AT&T is a multi-million-dollar operation, and in this agreement, we're basically getting peanuts.
Right. Well, are you done?
Yeah, I guess my question is, you know, I think, how we gave them all the airspace on the reservation, including going off the reservation, and then we're only getting roughly $8,000 for it. And I think our investment or our charge should be a lot higher, just for the record. Thank you.
Plus,
Well,
I got a motion.
yeah, she's got a motion, but Steve, will you be talking to them?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, can I?
Go ahead, because I want to know, because this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, I haven't been on the tower, and I don't plan on crawling up one of them towers, but I heard that there's Verizon, there's different other dishes on there. And to me, that is subleasing. BIA has in the CFR says you can't sublease. But for people that do business here like them guys, they get away with that stuff. So I think the superintendent and the acting realty officer should crawl that tower and check it out, see if those are Verizon. No, but Steve, when you check the one, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, and in the telecommunication, that's called co-location. I meant to have more than one carrier co-located on a tower. I will to look at the original lease to see if co-location is allowed. I do see and I've read the documents that are attached to your agenda or packet, but they're not signed. And so we're looking to see if these amendments were ever signed.
Okay, so the motion is to table to let Steve check it out, because you don't have nothing to say it's a go. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Randall. Roll call vote.
Marvin Standing Soldier,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
Dave Kelly,
Yes.
Troy Little,
Yes.
Sonia Little Weston, Paul Little Whiteman,
Yes.
Beef Randall,
Yeah.
Jeremy Rosales,
Yes.
8-4, we're not voting.
Thank you. I think the last thing we have, go ahead, Mr. Wood.
On my newspaper that I brought from Bennett County, it shows the service area of the OLT for the fiber optic and the cable and the phone lines, whatever they're gonna put down, and it doesn't include Martin. The one version we see it does, the next version we see it doesn't. I'm asking that we send that to Steve Gunn for his review and to give me an opinion on whether I can use Golden West or not, because it is not, and we weren't part of the original contract that came out. That was amended, and I don't know why or how it got amended, but Martin, South Dakota, Bennett County was never included in that. It was only after the fact that they included it in there. And my issue is that it's not new construction, it's existing construction, right there to tie our phone line in. And right now, we can't move ahead, and Richard Rango we're ready to go, all we need is a phone line. We gotta have a phone line in to have the fire suppression system hooked up to it. And so right now, we're in limbo. And Wombly, Pass Creek, and Lake Creek are supposed to meet this week to discuss what we're gonna do, because these buildings are getting done. And so my motion is that I can forward that to Steve Gunn and have him give me a legal opinion before the meeting, the special meeting we have. And I think if he get a hold of our other attorneys that's holding up the show, that we need to get this done, because our building's done. That's my motion.
Motion made, second by Mr. Randall, Mr. Steinsalder. Sonia, had her hand up.
But also just to make sure that Steve looks at everything, because this council or this committee passed laws with a process in place of how we get hooked up to Golden West. So I think that WIA across the street did that. Over here, the two education committee programs went through the same process. So I think we just need to follow that process if it's an existing line, because theirs was an existing fiber optic, and that's why they came through. So I think we need to follow that process. I don't think it really needs Steve's opinion. I think we just need to follow that process. I think it was a resolution that Steve probably knows about, and Major shared that with us at the utilities meeting. So if we could just follow that. And Golden West should be the one to come down and tell us that there is an existing line there, and yes, we can hook it up. I haven't heard from Golden West. Mr. Greg Olson needs to come here and tell us that. I don't want Steve Gunn going over there and saying there's a existing line, like he said. He's not, he's an attorney. We need to get Golden West to come down here and tell us that. So if there's an existing line, they need to tell us that there's an existing line, and that yes, we can hook up the multi-purpose building. That's what we need to hear from them, because right now, there's resolutions in place that don't allow Golden West to come on because of the OLT grant, the funds that we could lose. So that's the only thing that I'm concerned about. So, you know, there's resolution in place that shows the process, but I don't mind, let Steve look at it. And maybe we need to maybe make a decision after that.
Okay, you heard the motion made and seconded. Go ahead.
The thing about it is I've talked to John Long about the existing lines, and if we could get him here, if he's in the building, I'd like him to come down and explain what Golden West's position is on this. They want a action from the committee, and they want a resolution from the tribe to put these lines in now. See, so the thing about it is this is what was told to me by Mr. Long. And that's why I've been coming to these meetings to get that done, because it would be so easy if they would just come and hook us up, because the line is there. And I know the line's there because we had to move the line around the edge of the building. Yeah. Yes, you see, he's here. Because
Bart's calling John.
yeah, because of when we put our building, it's set right on the line. We had to move the line around the building. So it is there. And I think I came to the land committee to get us to move that line that time. Need the phone system hooked up. And Bennett County, or Martin was not included in this. That's what my biggest harp is, and it continues to be.
Go ahead, Mr. Gunn.
Okay, I think, remember there was a meeting with Council, and at that, I agreed to talk with Mr. He did call me, we had a discussion, and I did tell him that I would reach out lawyers for OLT, just to find out where they are in their process, and so I'll just report back what I heard, and this is for Majel. She said she spoke with Petra, who is on the meeting today, and Petra said that OLT has installed internet services, community building, and they have wireless phone and 5G internet services up and running. This was done with the NIA grant, which is to enhance wireless services. Fiber to the home is under the RUS Reconnect grant, is engineered and has not, however, both and OLT would ever OLT estimates they can proceed quicker. And then I also asked her what would the impact be on the grant if Lake Creek were allowed to. Mr. Chair?
We're listening.
Okay, sorry. She said, in terms of the specific dollar amount, Palmetto will do a breakdown. So I just am reporting that because I did, tell that I would contact the attorney for OLT and just find out, because I know we've heard from OLT that they can provide service. It sounds like they do have currently wireless phone and 5G internet up and running. I could visit with Mr. Gould to determine whether that's what it takes to connect the fire suppression, whether it has to be hardline or whether, online wireless phone service is good enough. I don't know, but that's the report that I got back. And as for Mr. Dillon wants me to look at this, I'm happy to, or the committee, I'm happy to. I do agree with Ms. Little Hawk Weston, we should hear from Golden West directly about, what it would take to hook up the building. Because she's right, I'm not an engineer, I don't work for Golden West, I don't know. But it's my understanding that they do have fiber quite close from them.
Any other?
Sir, may I have on the floor?
What? Who's on?
This is Petra Wilson from Long Board.
Go ahead.
Traverse.
Go ahead.
So, in regards to some of the questions, I think the misunderstanding is that there's a focus on NTIA grant to the second grant, 36 million fiber deployment is going to be. And so it wouldn't be as simple as doing taking one look at it.
Excuse me.
Yes.
You're breaking up, we're having a hard time understanding it. The question is, and we're going all around answering Mr. Dillon's question that he wants Mr. Steve Gunn to answer is, in the newspaper article, it leaves out Lake Creek District. So is Lake Creek District in the grant or not? That's all he was trying to get clear from Mr. Gunn, but we've talked about everything else. That's all he wants done, because in the article in this newspaper doesn't list Lake Creek District. That's what he wants cleared up. That's all we're asking for.
Okay, so we have connected the Lake Creek building and received a call on the day that they had the phone service put in, the Wi-Fi is put in. So they do have service currently. I also have disseminated a risk memo for information for the tribal council. I'm not sure if you received it at the Secretary's office to make sure to send out to all the chairs so that they
Ma'am, like I stated earlier, we can't, you guys are breaking up, we don't even know what you're saying. I don't know if you're running an auction service or what you're running, but we're not understanding what you're saying. Yeah.
Would it help that I slow down?
Ma'am, this is our meeting.
Mr. Chair, I can hear you.
Okay, but we can't understand what you're saying. You and Steve. So what I'm gonna do is run Mr. Dillon's motion to have this checked out to see if Lake Creek District was included in the grant. And no, I don't need your answer, we're gonna run the motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm requesting respectfully that you allow me to ask about the risk memo for your information.
No, this is for Mr. Gunn. Run the motion, Bart. Roll call vote.
Marvin Stafford Soldier,
Yes.
Craig Dillon,
Yes.
David Kelly, Troy Little,
Yes.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston, Bo Little White Man,
Yes.
B. Franco,
Yes.
Jeremy Rosales,
Yes.
7-4-2 not voting.
Thank you, committee. Thank those that aired on and trying to control our meeting. That's all I have. You need a motion to adjourn. Listen, I forgot. I was contacted earlier by an individual, was it Szynski or one of those that we bought that land from in Mooney? Now they're interested, they have 40 acres up close to the buttes up there. They're interested in selling that. No dollar amount has been kicked around. Do we want to pursue that? And as soon as we get a description, I told them get a description and we'll see where that land is really located at.
Motion to explore.
Motion by Mr. Dillon to explore.
No obligation.
By Mr. Danny Silver and Mr. Little. All in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, except for two not voting. Thank you, need a motion to adjourn.
Hold on, I got a quick
Oh,
question.
go ahead.
Quick question.
ordinance.
The other, application process. And so he wants to know where that is, what's going on with it, because remember, he came in front of us and he wants an assignment of how many acres? 20 acres. And so this committee needs to probably start, addressing this, because he is coming on like Veterans Committee hour, and he's expressing the concern to the people that, under the Constitution, you can be assigned. But if you look at that, it doesn't really specifically say how you go about it. And he's questioning that, saying, it never said an attorney would possibly do an application process. So the land committee took action, and he just wants to know about it. So that's something that maybe Steve Gunn could give an update on it.
I'm gonna put Steve on, because he's having a hard time.
Okay, put it on.
But I don't know that it's been rescheduled, so I would recommend that we do schedule either a land committee meeting or some sort of special meeting to go over that draft ordinance, because the issue is not gonna go away, and it would be beneficial for the tribe to have established procedures about how you apply, how you're eligible, how much land be assigned. There are just a number of questions that have to be addressed. But yes, I did draft an ordinance, and it was on at least one land committee meeting, and the decision was it was a big issue, and that all members of the council should weigh in at a special meeting, but we have not had that special meeting.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Mr. Randall.
Well, you start doing that too, you're gonna also have to address who is landless. That's the veterans' criteria of landless. So the veterans who is going to be determined as landless. And accepting of the veterans' criteria preference, you have to address that too.
Quite some.
And he's using that status as a veteran, saying he's landless. And so that's the part he's using. So I think we all have our own opinions on this and questions that arose on it. And I know he's from my district, but I myself still have questions on it, like how much, like Steve said, how much are we gonna assign? Because he's coming with wanting 20 acres. So once you open that door, then you could have all the veterans coming forward that are landless and said, I want 20 acres. So we gotta really think about this, but this come back to us as land committee chair, so I think maybe we need to set up that meeting to address it.
Okay, Mr. Little?
Yeah, just real quick before Sean, please.
Sean?
The concern of an RV on X Hill, where's the request to have it removed?
What?
On X Hill? XU Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we took action before. Sean was supposed to work with
If I remember right.
2 or 3 different chiefs of police to go.
Yeah,
Was supposed to go help, but the police didn't want to help.
never helped, so, it's abandoned now. Is it abandoned, Sean? Yeah, it's just abandoned. Solid, hopefully, I think 70% solid waste with under hood trucks and get rid of it. Yeah, our only options is just sitting there, and there's a lot of junk around it too, gas cans and tires.
Good, Pete.
You want that refrigerator?
Just to add to the conversation, even worse of, we just heard that a veteran passed, but he wasn't really a veteran because he had short 13 days to being a veteran. So if you're gonna work with this whole thing, it's starting to stack up now, so we gotta be careful here.
Thanks. I think that's all the actions we need now, except for the motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Dill, second by Jeremy. All fair to adjourn.
So, you remember a couple weeks ago when I came for you folks, we were trying to get